This is the Carty Method Podcast.
Well, hello, friend. Hello. Let's make sure that you guys are ready for today, because today we're talking about habits, but not the way that most people do. This is about creative momentum, the kind that actually gets you booked, the kind that builds consistency and turns your creative identity into a real business. So if you've been trying to get it together, stay focused, or maybe you're trying to take your creative career seriously, this episode is for you. My photography business was struggling, by the way, and despite decades of experience, I realized that busy work and inconsistency were holding me back. During COVID, I finally stopped distracting myself and focused on learning the business side. And I was a photographer for 3.5 decades. At this point, I was a photographer for like 2.5 decades. I had to, during COVID, my business was up and down. And during COVID, I really had to focus on fixing my business. So my friends, Michael and Tim, are both in advertising. They coached me and helped me build a successful photography business. I studied top photographers, and I started building systems that worked for me. Today, with my YouTube channel, The Carty Method, I help photographers all over turn their passion into a profitable career by teaching them the exact strategies that I use to transform my own business. So, most creatives think that the problem is motivation. Motivation. It's not motivation. Most people think that they need more discipline, more focus, or maybe a better routine. So they binge productivity hacks, they try habit apps, or maybe even join an accountability group, and still nothing sticks. The truth is, most habit advice wasn't made for us. It was made for corporate people who work in industries that aren't the creative industry. So here's what I've learned after coaching hundreds of photographers. You don't need more hacks. You need evidence that you're becoming the person that you say that you want to be. And the only way to gather better evidence is to track it. You actually only get better at things that you track. So you have to track it daily, and you have to track it honestly, and you should be seeking some real feedback. So I have a habit tracker that I built specially for myself, but it works for all creatives, not just to build habits, but to break the ones that are silently destroying your business. So understand this. This habit tracker was born inside my Carty Method Accelerator, and I've used it with working photographers around the world, people who are just like you, who are stuck, who are scattered, and falling off their goals every few weeks. The shift was instant. More consistency, less guesswork, and actual momentum. And that momentum is not from motivation, but it comes from measurement, from seeing your progress in real time, and finally, keeping promises to yourself. So let's talk about habits for breaking, the art of making and breaking habits for creatives. That's what we're talking about today. And I'm going to make my camera frame a little bit bigger so y'all can see me a little bit easier. So let's get into the art of making and breaking habits for creatives. So let's get into the plan. This is what I'm going to get into in today's episode. First of all, I'm going to break down why most creatives fail to build lasting habits. And I'm going to talk about what works when it comes to rewiring your behavior. And then I'm going to walk you step by step how to use a habit tracker Habit tracker sounds way funnier. How to use a habit tracker to actually build a week and eventually a life that matches the creative career that you say that you want. So let's talk about the truth. Let's talk about the truth. The truth about your habits. And this is where photographers don't want to talk about the truth. Most photographers don't have a creative problem. They have a consistency problem. You already know what you need to do, but you just don't do it consistently enough to matter. So let me give it to you straight. You don't rise to the level of your talent. I want you to ring that through your ears. You don't rise to the level of your talent. You fall to the level of your habits. And this is a dagger. What you do daily matters more than what you do once in a while. Like, you have to do this stuff every single day. So there's real cost when you don't track what you do every day. There's real cost when you don't track what you do. So here's what happens when you don't track your habits. Number one, you waste energy deciding on what you should be doing every day. You slowly lose confidence because you're not keeping your own promises. Like, oh my God, I'm going to do this tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and guess what? You don't do it. That means that you're breaking your promises to yourself, which makes it really, really difficult for you to actually ever follow through. Because even when you say you're going to do something, your subconscious mind doesn't even believe you. And also, you overestimate how productive that you've actually been when you're not being productive. You actually overestimate how productive you've been. You also repeat patterns. You repeat patterns not because you're lazy, but because you're unaware. And here's the kicker. Every small action or inaction is casting a vote for who you're becoming. If you scroll more than you shoot, that's your identity. Okay? If you procrastinate on emails, that's your identity. If you never publish your work, that's your identity. So, how long does it actually really take? How long does it really take to build a habit? And I know you've heard it takes 21 days to build a habit, but I promise you, that's surface level nonsense. What actually builds a habit is emotional commitment. You have to make an emotional commitment plus repetition. Okay? Repetition. It becomes real the moment it becomes a non-negotiable. And it becomes a non-negotiable when you tie it to who you want to become. So we have to emotionally connect a reason as to why you have to or want to become a professional photographer. You have to have an emotional reason why. I have to become a professional photographer because I bought a lot of equipment. I took out loans, and if I don't make this work, my wife's gonna leave me. I want you to emotionally attach a reason why. Then it becomes a non-negotiable. When you tie it, then you get to become who you want to become, that future you. The problem is this. Most of us, we don't track anything. We think that we're doing pretty good until we look back and realize that we're stuck in exactly the same level. That's why I built this system. Systems create structure, and structure supports that new identity that you wish. So, what does a perfect week actually look like? Let's imagine this. You say you want to be a working professional photographer. Cool. What does your calendar say about that? What does your calendar say about that? In a perfect week, you'd be reaching out to potential clients. You'd be practicing your craft. You'd be publishing consistently. You'd be reviewing your performance. You'd be planning instead of reacting. And you'd be working on your business, not just in it. But if you're being honest, how many weeks of yours actually look like? That's why tracking everything matters. Now, I'm going to show you what my calendar looks like and how I actually track every single thing. Everything. And I track how long it actually took for things to happen. I time block everything from time with clients to submitting blog posts to writing content to creating YouTube content to all of my weekly Zoom strategies. And every one of my weeks looks like this. I have multiple calendars that I actually use. So I can look and say green is work. Purple is YouTube. Blue is outward reach. Yellow is time with my girlfriend. And red is bike rides. So I schedule everything and I time block absolutely everything because the distance between your calendar and your goals is where your potential lies. It's really, really important to lock everything in to your calendar. So, now that we've set the context, let's get into the solution. Not a gimmick, not a cute little PDF, but a real tool that I use with all my coaching clients inside my Pro Accelerator. By the way, go to thecardymethod.com/habit tracker. There's a link in the description, I think. Let me make sure. I'm going to make sure I put a link in the description. It's in my digital tools. So here's what it looks like inside, and here's how this works. Why did my music stop? Oh, there it is. Ooh. All right, let's get into the Carty Method Professional Creatives Daily Habit Tracker. Now, I have to hide my camera because, well, maybe, let's see if I can put my camera here, but we'll make it a little small. Let's do that. We'll make it wee. We're going to put me up here, okay? Okay, so this is my habit tracker, and I'm going to show you why this changed my life. First of all, this is what you do in order to use it. First of all, you have to download Notion. Notion is free. Notion is essential for running a creative business. Then you click these three dots up here and you say duplicate. Now that you've duplicated it, you go over into your Notion, you go over into your Notion space, and you can see how I build absolutely everything in Notion. I'm just going to search for it. Habit Tracker version 2, the duplicate. Boom. So now that's my duplicate. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly how this works. This is now, if you were using this, you can see how it's now the duplicate. This now becomes your habit tracker. And right in here, you can start typing. So it says duplicate this template to use in your own Notion space, which is what I just did. Again, you click the three dots, you go down here, you click duplicate. Or if you're on a Mac, you do Command D. So the whole goal here is it's a habit tracker. And you can close the ring at the bottom of each habit card. We're going to get onto that in a second. But as I've mentioned, we're trying to emotionally connect to goals. Connecting emotionally to your goals is a powerful motivator that surpasses short-term discomfort. So what you're trying to do here is develop a clear vision for your future that excites you and motivates you, and visualize this future to maintain focus and motivation. So this beginning section is so important because it sets your stage. What's your value offering? Understanding what value you bring to the photography industry, it helps you align what clients are looking for within your specific niche. Hey, Danielle, welcome. So in this spot right here, write your value offering. I photograph magazine style portraits. I photograph magazine style portraits. So you can write your action right here. And also double click here, you can highlight it. This is now what your value offering is. Now, look here. We know that in order to lose weight, we have to eat less and exercise more. But nearly 2 out of 3 adults in the US are considered overweight. So what it tells you is we don't have an information problem, we have an execution problem. You can achieve life-changing results through consistent action. Change your planning in your execution, and you'll get more done in 12 weeks than most do in a year. It's not what you know, it's not who you know, it's what you implement that counts. This habit tracker is gonna get you there. So it's all about execution and routine. So an effective execution system transforms the visions and goals into daily actions, ensuring consistent progress. So here in this habit tracker, we're going to create a daily routine that aligns with your 12-week goals. So I want you to think about this. I want you to think about the daily actions that you need to do in order to be in harmony with a broader vision and long-term objectives, okay? And I want you to ensure that your daily tasks are steps towards your larger professional photography goals, and avoid activities that don't contribute to these goals. When you deeply understand and implement these very simple principles, you're going to really enhance your ability to achieve your goals, tapping into your full potential way more effectively. So, my photography value offering to my specific niche is this. This is really critical for you to hear. My photography value offer to my very specific niche is this. And I want you to write yours here, but this is mine. My goal is to help 25,000 photographers. Hey, let's change that to 100,000, yeah? Because I'm now at 35,000 photographers. My goal is to help 100,000 photographers make a living with their cameras and their creativity. That is my value offer on YouTube, okay? But as a photographer, my value offer is I wish to reach a level of mastery that I can bring value to every single person that I meet. I want to alter perception. I want to first shift and then expand minds and help those that choose to find me unleash their true limitless potential. That is my value offer to my specific niche. So let's get into some life goals. These are some positive affirmations and also positive affirmations focused on bringing value to others. This isn't about positive affirmations for things that come to you. This is about expressing gratitude. This is about positive affirmations and bringing value to others. So don't forget, you have a life, you have to live it. So my most important horizon goal is this. This is your biggest, most important goal. So imagine I want to be a household name as a photographer. I want to have legacy. I want to be in the same conversations that you would be having about masters, the masters of photography. So that's my most important horizon goal. So my most important business goal, I want to bring value to clients worldwide with my ideas, my energy, and my execution. So, okay, I just want to bring value. That's my business goal. And you notice that my business goal had nothing to do with money. I want to bring value. If I bring value, value will automatically translate into money. People trade money for value. And my most important personal goal, I need to master consistency on all levels of my life. Including exercise, social time, and family time. So that's my most important personal goal. Okay, so this is where your value mission statement, this is where you write the reason that you were put here on earth. So again, I've already mentioned mine. I wish to reach a level of mastery that I can bring value to every single person that I meet. I want to alter perception. I want to first shift and then expand minds and help those that choose to find me unleash their true limitless potential. So that is my value mission statement. So I want you to use this spot here to put your most frequently accessed links. So you can see I helped you start here with my YouTube channel. Also, Senja is how I collect social proof. Always the Carty method, obviously, and Score app, which is what I use to get leads on autopilot, and Indie, which is what I use to run my freelance business. So it's super simple for you to add extra links here. All I need you to do is go up here and then just do /. When you do /, it brings up this. And then all you need to do is type web, and you can see it brings up a web bookmark, and then you can put stevecarty.com and then create bookmark, and then it just generates a bookmark. So very easy for you to put quick references of links that you use all the day. Okay, this is where we get into your habits. Okay, your weekly goals. I want you to put your big weekly goals that contribute to your life goals, which we listed up above here. These are your life goals, okay? So down here, I want you to think about your weekly goals that contribute to your life goals. And this is a guide. Also, it's shit you should be doing, so make sure that you check them off. And here's a guide. Move the needle on my work this week. Move the needle on post-production this week. Move the needle on my packaging, my website, my portfolio. Move the needle on outward reach. Get into LinkedIn. Get into DMing people. Move the needle on my business and move the needle on my system. Okay? So this is what I've used as a guide, but you fill in your weekly goals that align with your life goals up here. Now, every day you have to contribute to your weekly goals. So daily goals, you put your daily goals here, okay? And then you check them off and then you make new ones. So I started with saying, I suck if I don't do this. Reach out on LinkedIn. Oops. So I suck if I don't do this. So make your I suck if list. And you notice how I word this? Because I need you to lock it in and see how absolutely important this is as far as changing your reality. So I suck if I don't do this. And this is your everyday list. Okay, now that's this week, that's every day. And now this is shit I must find time to do, but with an attached reason for the why. Okay, let's see if I can do Command plus. It works. Okay, so shit I have to find time to do with attached reasons for the why. So you have to put your life admins, your to-dos, and stuff that you've been avoiding. That's what you put here, okay? And include the reason why you need to do them, or the shit that happens if you don't. So do this thing that I hate, because if I do, I'll be able to start taking clients. Hey, welcome, Anthony. If I do, I'll be able to start taking clients. Let's do this other thing that I hate, because if I don't, I might be really behind. And let's learn this thing that I'm avoiding, because if I don't, what am I really even doing? Here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to post a link. Let's do this. Let's post a link to this habit tracker. There we go. So I'm going to post this link in chat. It is thecartymethod.com/habit tracker. That's the link up here. I'm going to post it in chat because I may have forgotten to post it. Paste. There we go. Because I think I might have forgotten to post it in the show notes. So let's go back here. Let's go content. Apologize for this. This. Oh, I did put it in the show notes. There you go. You see, I sometimes am even more organized than I think. It is in the video description. So let's get back into it. So you have to include reasons why you need to do the things that you need to do. So the last one that I have here is I need to learn this thing that I've been avoiding, because if I don't, what am I really even doing? And also I have to do this other thing that I hate, because if I don't, I might be really behind. And also I suck because I haven't done this yet, and it's going to move my needle. So this is things that you must find time to do with the attached reason why. Understand this. This is your life, eh? Make your habits. You have to use mine as a guide, but make your habits and mark yourself at the end of every day. 85% is your goal every single day. And I promise you, if you do this every day, you'll be making a year's worth of progress in 12 weeks. And again, this is what I take the people who are in all of my Carty Method programs. This is one of the tools that I give them. So let's talk about your perfect week. First of all, let's talk about your perfect week. And you can look at this as a gallery like this. Let's do it like this, as a gallery. Or you can look at it as a board, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Or you can look at it as a table view with all the different things that you have to do. So I prefer to look at it like a gallery. So let's look at this. Monday. This is your perfect week. And I've set this up for you to help you get a handle on your perfect week in this template. But this is what we're trying to do. A perfect week is number one, and we can also edit this. All we need to do is click it and it pops open. You can click the edit button here and it pops open. So let's expand Monday. So we have 10 minutes of, I actually have to expand that property. So let's go back to, let's close, go back here. Okay. So there we go. So Monday, we want to make a photograph within our niche. That's very important. 30 minutes of movement is incredibly important. 10 minutes of mindfulness and focus on what you have to get done today. One new idea. Generate one new idea. Create one piece of persuasive writing in order to convince your potential clients that you're the one for them. Share to 3 social media platforms. Provide value to 1 potential client. Create a connection with 1 potential client. 1 hour of post-production training, and then 6 to 8 hours of sleep. So that's your perfect Monday. And you can now, I have all of these days set up as the same perfect day, but look what happens when you do make a photograph within your niche. You get a progress bar. Look what happens when you do 30 minutes of movement. More progress. When you do 10 minutes of morning mindfulness. When you generate 1 new idea, 1 piece of persuasive writing, share to 3 social media platforms, provide value to a client, 1 hour of post-production, and then you sleep. What happens then is you complete your progress bar, which is what we're trying to do, which is complete your progress bar. And imagine doing that every single day. Now, imagine Tuesday, you want to do LinkedIn training. So imagine, let's go here and let's edit. Okay, I want to edit property. So now I don't want to do 10 minutes of mindfulness on Tuesday. I want to do 60 minutes of LinkedIn work. "60 minutes of LinkedIn deep work, 30 minutes of walk, generate 1 idea." How about instead of generate 1 idea, we're going to click rename. We're going to say, I want to generate social media posts for the week. And then now I don't have to make a photograph. Yes. 1 piece of persuasive writing. Yes. So you can see now you can change what you're doing every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which link to your life goals, which then help you now track back to, let's make this smaller. No, what ends actually, sorry, here we go. So what it actually does is it links you back to your, I was glitching. It links you back here to your life goals. So in here now, you're able to make your perfect week and then try to get 85% every single day. That's what we're trying to do here. Next, the next cool part here is your intelligent imitation portfolio. So imagine for the people who are in my programs, how you become a professional photographer is by really studying professional photographers and seeing what work is working within your specific niche from photographers who are further ahead of you. So I've included a section for you to create a mood board of your intelligent imitation portfolio, like images that you're referencing as thing. And again, to change these images, you just can click it and then go here and say replace right here, replace, and then upload your file. And now you can make it whatever pictures that you want that are your images. So this is your intelligent imitation area. Now, when you start wanting to see what your weeks look like, this is a great view to see your month. And once you now are incorporating your perfect week, you can actually track it here as well. Like I did this, and you can click and it adds it on this as well, which is amazing. And the last thing that I include here is magnetic messaging, because we all need to be persuasive. And sadly, not enough photographers spend any time writing about photography, writing about their photography, talking about their why. So imagine this. Every single thing you write needs to be persuasive. Every social media caption, every email, every newsletter. You need to learn how to write about your photography and how you bring value to your specific niche. You need to write about it and you need to share it daily. Understand this. People pay for transformation, not information. If you show your audience, wherever that audience is, a transformation that you can create, you'll never have to sell your services. You'll never have to sell your services. They will indeed sell themselves. So people pay for transformation, not information. Show your audience a transformation. If you do that, you will never have to sell. Your services will sell themselves. So here is an outline for some magnetic messaging. And again, I practice this very often. Listen here. I lose subscribers on YouTube every single day. Most photographers don't have the tools, don't want the tools, or they don't care to know about the tools to make a living at this. When I talk less about making pictures and more about the business of photography, the uninformed lose interest. But guess what? I also gain more subscribers than I lose. There are more that want to change the reality than those that want to stay in the same place. Here's the second part. There seems to be a growing mass of people that clearly see what they're currently doing day to day isn't working with their photography careers or their lives. As I get clearer right here on YouTube, explaining the effort it takes to be a working pro, it seems that many aren't committed to the work outside the photographs. So they don't want to hear anything about anything that they don't know. Sadly, many choose to stay comfortably numb in that daily grind. Here's the third part. Seems they'd rather work to make their boss's dreams come true instead of their own. Others don't want to hear they need to improve. They don't want to hear they need to improve. They seem to be looking for a yes man. So those people unsubscribe as well. This is what this means, though, if you're still listening to me. Most photographers don't have the tools, don't want the tools, or don't care to know about the tools to make a living at this. Most photographers care about vanity metrics like more followers because they think followers lead to work. Naturally, they gravitate towards content that talks about how to get more followers and neglect the content like mine that actually moves the needle. Anyone that avoids critical, pro photography information is simply months away from quitting due to a lack of clients and having any concept on what to do on a day-to-day basis. 60% of photographers quit their first year. 23% quit in their second. All you need is dedication and information to become part of the 1%. Camera skills and composition don't make you a nickel. It takes the techniques of turning those skills into money. That's what I teach here. Everybody quits before they learn the right information. So, for some of you, this direction and information is exactly what you need, and you understand the reason why. There is a method. I've been using it for 25 years to teach my assistants how to be working pros. Over the last year, I've been turning my method for developing emerging pros into actionable steps that I can teach to anyone with talent and a desire to do this full time. And I can do it online to wherever they are in the world through the Carty method. I've turned hundreds into working pros. So that is called persuasive writing. And do you see how I was holding your attention? Because I was speaking exactly to you. So why you need to track habits is you need a habit loop. You start by defining the habit, not just what it is, but why it matters. And what'll change for you if you stick with it for just 30 days? What will you reward yourself with? For me, I reward myself with shoes. I reward myself with kicks. Buy myself a little thing. What's the emotional reason behind your goal? And again, remember, that emotional reason, that locks the habit into your identity. And that emotional connection is what creates long-term change. You're emotionally connected to scrolling on Instagram. You could be. So when you think about daily habit tracking, think about 3 to 5 actions that, if done consistently, would move your needle in your creative life. Imagine email one potential client, make one new picture, study a photo from a photographer you admire, publish one thing to your audience, write one paragraph to your newsletter. Every day that you do, you get to check it off. And now you're not just guessing anymore. You're seeing your new identity being built, one check mark at a time. And when you do your weekly reviews, ask yourself, what worked? What didn't work? What patterns are starting to form? What am I going to do different next week? That's where the real transformation happens. You shift from reacting to actually designing your perfect life. And the fact that you get a scorecard, do you understand how that works with your brain and pattern recognition? Do you understand how satisfying it is to check something off on your list? To say, hey, it's Saturday, it's Sunday, podcast, masterclass, it's so good to check off your perfect day. So when that happens, you start to notice patterns. I always have solid Mondays, but I fall apart by Thursday. Reaching out is easy, but editing is where I suck. Because you get to see it, because you're tracking it. I avoid publishing because of perfectionism. Once you see it down, you see your habits down, you can change it. If you don't see it, it controls you. And let's talk habits. I've been posting to Substack since the first time I posted to Substack. Wrap your head around this. I decided I was going to start a newsletter. Okay, I had no content. So what I did was I posted every Saturday. I'm like, I'm going to just start posting on Saturday. Then the next week I did it. Then the next week I did it. By the time I did it 4 times, I didn't want to break my streak. Now, I've posted on Substack 112 weeks in a row. 112 weeks in a row. And and if, by the way, I'm here obviously in all my content to help photographers get to the next level with their photography career. The Carty Method Substack, I post every Saturday. And I also, this podcast that you're listening goes out as an audio podcast as well to Spotify, to Apple Podcasts, and also Substack. So consistency. There's no way I'm going to break my streak. Go back to 0 after 112 weeks in a row? Are you drunk? There's no way I'm doing that. So think about how you could apply that to your photography career if you were as insane as I am with consistency. Also, YouTube, 3 times a week, every week, consistency. Because I show up for you, because I know that you need this content. So understand this. A habit tracker is a game changer, but my specific habit tracker, well, it's cracked out because it's specifically built for you. It's built for creatives. It's not built just for productivity junkies. It ties in to your actual identity, not just your goals. And it helps you build back your self-trust, because so often you say you're going to do something and you don't do it. You don't do it. And because of that, even when you say, I'm going to go out and shoot on Friday, your subconscious mind doesn't believe it. So it becomes really easy to not do it. Understand this, our mind is broken into 2 things, the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. We'll call it the automatic mind is the subconscious mind, and the manual mind is the conscious mind. Your body is running on automatic, and the things that you've done over and over and over again is like a freight liner, a huge cruise ship sailing, well, not sailing, but propelling itself across an ocean, okay? For a cruise ship to change direction, which is why the Titanic hit that iceberg and saw it like much before it hit it, is because it couldn't change direction. It's like it was automatically going in that direction. And to change direction, even if you do it only one day, your automatic mind will recreate you. It'll correct you back to what you've always done. That's why it's so hard to maintain habits. Your automatic mind does what you've always done. And if you've never been good with your habits, if you've always broken your word to yourself, your automatic mind is actually driving that to happen. So you need to reprogram yourself. And this habit tracker is the best way that I've found to rebuild self-trust with yourself, and seeing visually you being able to check off, I did this, I did that, I did that. It feels so good. It's most important is it builds momentum. It builds self-momentum, and most importantly, you can see it. Because if you don't track it, you forget it. And if you forget it, you don't believe it. And if you don't believe it, you're going to quit. So you want to become a full-time photographer. Is that you? Is that true? Then you have to build the habits that actually match the life that you're chasing. One small action done consistently becomes the foundation for everything else. Understand this, the butterfly effect is real. Every little action either moves you forward or it keeps you stuck. So stop guessing, stop waiting, and Start building your creative life one day at a time. You can get the habit tracker at thecartymethod.com/habit tracker. Use it. Reflect weekly. Track momentum. And finally, become the creative professional that you know that you were meant to be. I'll see you in the next episode.
This live stream was brought to you by Pixpa, the best website builder for photographers and creatives, and Indie, the best way to run your freelance business, and by you, the members and subscribers of the Carty Method. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month to show your support for our content, and we'll reward you. You get members-only content every month, and Carty has the best emojis on YouTube, and you'll get that crown badge next to your name. If you're building your photography business, make sure you join Portfolio Lab. How ready are you to be a pro? Take the Carty Method Pro Photographer's Readiness Scorecard. You'll always find helpful links in the show notes. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert. Even if the content you're sharing isn't yours, be a curator and share this content with your network. Find your creative and business genius with the Carty Method.